Hey, this is Colton Dixon, and you're listening to Dispatch Radio.
Well, I think this is the first time we've been able to have him with us. We're a longtime fan. We've been talking about him on the Winter Jam Tour, the West Coast leg of the Winter Jam Tour, and it's great to have him with us. Hey, I'm looking for a nod. Have we used Made New on our show? Yes, we have. So yeah, you guys know his music too, even if you don't realize it. Lincoln Brewster's with us. Lincoln, how are you, my friend? Thanks for fitting us into your busy schedule.
I'm doing good. Thank you, man. Good to be with you.
What's keeping you busy these days before you head out on the Winter Jam experience?
Well, you know, I'm a dad and a husband, and I'm a worship pastor at my church. So
enough said.
Definitely, lots of stuff going on.
That's great. Have you done the Winter Jam experience before? You know what you've gotten yourself into?
I've never been on the tour. I've certainly come to some of the concerts here in Sacramento, but I've never been on it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, 20,000, plus screaming Christian fans praising and worshiping God and all sorts of different genres and that kind of thing. It's a unique and exciting experience and something everyone should try to enjoy if they can. The tickets are available through jamtour.com if you're catching us out in Arizona, California. That's where they're headed in this west leg there for a good half dozen shows or so. And Lincoln, as you've kind of sat down with a new song, you put together the set, you've put together their game plan. What has impressed you the most about their approach?
Oh, I mean, it's so cool that families can come out to this thing and it's $10 at the door. Is that still right? $10 at the door?
Yeah, $10.
Just really cool and then you get to come and see a whole bunch of different bands and really get a good kind of sampling of Christian music, kind of something for everybody. So love it. Love that it brings a lot of people together for a really fun, exciting night. And so it's cool. I think they've done an amazing job. It's just a fantastic idea, and obviously people seem to be resonating with it.
Now, as you transition, your album Oxygens is doing very well. The song, obviously, Made New has done extraordinarily well. And you go to present your music now to just a wide range of audience. Folks that are there to see Skillet or Jamie Grace are now going to get an incredible dose or possibly an introduction for the first time to Lincoln Brewster. What's the takeaway that you hope that those folks have?
Oh, I hope they feel encouraged. I mean, being a worship leader, really at my core, it's always about seeing the Lord lifted up and seeing people engaged in that in a way like they wouldn't have otherwise been, and I feel like to experience that, it's hard to not have your spirit encouraged. So I really hope that's the experience, just that they go, hey, cool, man, that was encouraging and fulfilling and inspiring and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully we can add something to the night.
We're talking with Lincoln Brewster. We're kind of previewing the West Coast leg of Winter Jam 2015, and just a great album. Oxygen, we've talked about Made New on the show. I'm pretty sure we had, so even sampled a little dose of that for folks from back when that album broke. And Lincoln, as you've transitioned now from worship leader to a lot more studio work, a lot more studio exposure, and that kind of thing, what has changed for you as your approach to writing and putting together things? As your prayer life changed, and how you pray about what kind of music to bring, and how have things changed for you?
Yeah, I think my level of intentionality is higher. Definitely. With the songs that I write and record, the highest goal for me is that those songs would be being sung in churches all over the world, where I can't be 1,000 places at once, but the songs can, and so that's what I hope to see happen. And so when I'm writing those songs, and I do a lot of co-writing now, the goal really is to write honest, authentic songs that are things we would really say or pray, and that are true and accurate. And I think maybe years and years ago I would have finished songs quicker. Just you could come up with a set of rhymes that worked and call it a day. And now I'm really more about the depth of the lyric and making sure that that it's the best statement I can make for the time.
We'll put links to how to connect with Lincoln, obviously LincolnBrewster.com. He's on Facebook, Lincoln Brewster Music. He's at Twitter, at Lincoln Brewster, those kinds of things. We'll link to that. Make it easy for you folks to connect with him if you're catching this as the online version or later on down the road. And, Lincoln, you've had a kind of a long storied ride in music, and I love the fact that you've been very transparent about your testimony coming to the Lord, and Laura's now your wife, and just kind of an amazing story. What was your journey like sort of immediately after that? I mean, obviously when you're unsaved, I know you did work with Steve Perry shortly thereafter, did some other stuff. What was your journey like in those early days of trying to get your head around what had just happened to you?
Interesting stage of life. I was 19 when I came to Christ, and it was I had no idea what I was going to do with my life, and it was kind of all brand new. And so the first opportunity that came along musically was to play in Steve Perry's band, and I prayed about that, and I actually felt like God was saying, yeah, it's okay. And now when I look back at sort of what happened during that time and how I grew and how God used that in my life, now I understand that a lot more. But it was just day by day trying to keep the main thing, which is I'm a child of God, and this is what my life's about, and I need to keep that at the center of things. And so I made sure and did that. And now, odd thing, this probably will come totally out of left field, but this was really a true thing for me. I struggled, just because I wasn't raised in church, I struggled with like the whole tithing thing, the money thing. And, because where I grew up, that was not, like churches were not viewed well at all. Christians were not viewed well. So I met with our associate pastor at our church, and I said, you got to help me understand this whole thing. I'm getting ready to go out on this tour, and I'm struggling with it. And he sat and talked to me through, Malachi 3, and it was really a cool thing. And he said, I believe that the spiritual law of reciprocity is universal. It's God's laws are universal. Doesn't just apply to Christians, but generosity, God wired us for that. And so I took my checkbook on the Steve Perry tour, and I would write my tithe check out myself every week and mail it home. And I feel like that kind of kept me centered because it was such a tangible practice of my faith to go, God, I'm going to trust you, not just with all the things I can't see, but with the things that I can see and that I can touch. And so that was a big deal for me.
That's a great story. Thanks for sharing that. And I know that I have touched on many times as we've talked with folks and reached out to folks. I'm currently filling in as a youth pastor, and we touch on, almost everybody has heard, karma, what you put out in the world is going to come back to you. We have some of these general principles and concepts, no matter how secular they are, whether they be other spiritual religions, those kinds of things. Yet when it comes to tithing in the Christian church, suddenly everybody wants to grab their wallet and hide and stash it somewhere and stuff like that. And it is kind of a journey, and I appreciate you sharing that with us, because I'm sure now you look back on that and really can, as you did, use it as a testimony.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you mentioned your family growing up a little bit. You grew up in Alaska, and I know your brothers, or stepbrothers rather, were on Deadliest to Catch. That's got to be an interesting Christmas gathering. Be able to sit around and share some stories.
No, we don't really do the Christmas gatherings. I haven't seen them in quite a while, them being up in Alaska and all. But it used to be wild. I'll tell you that when we were all growing up, Christmas gatherings were crazy. But yeah, I grew up there. Great state to be. I don't mean that in the conventional sense, great state to be from, but it was a really great place to grow up, and just a beautiful place. If you haven't been to Alaska, everybody listening, anytime you get a chance to go, you should go. It's just kind of a different level of grandeur up there. But yeah, cool thing that, you know what, I look back at my upbringing, and I'm just thankful to God, really thankful how he saved me, man. It's just crazy that he pulled me out of all that,
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, we all feel that way, and we all need to just take pause sometimes and just say thank you. You know, thank you for having me back. Thank you for granting me grace and mercy, because He doesn't owe it to us, and to grant it so freely is still just should blow our minds each and every day. And
Yeah.
as we head into Christmas time, it's always great to reflect. I know you had a Christmas album out a couple of years ago. I've enjoyed it very much, called Joy to the World. And is there still some inkling to do some more Christmas music? Is there still some songs that you didn't get on that album? Usually that's what I hear. I usually hear, well, we put together 15 tracks, we could only do 12 or 10, or so there's there a couple more that are out there that you like, you really can't wait to get that moment where you get to put that together?
I'm sure I'll have more Christmas stuff. There's a couple things that I want to do. I did an instrumental song on there called Miraculum, and I may end up doing another one of those on another project as well. That one's seemed to have gotten a really warm response. A lot of churches do it, and so we'll probably do another something like that at some point for sure.
Sounds great. Folks, we've been talking with Lincoln Brewster. Winter Jam is headed your way in the West Coast. That is jamtour.com. And to be honest, they're ready to drop the winter list, actually, for shows that will begin as early as January. So make sure you stay tuned to jamtour.com. And Lincoln Brewster himself, lincolnbrewster.com. He's on Facebook, Twitter. We'll put some links up there on the online version of this interview and get you connected to him, and check out his album, man. I love Oxygen. If you haven't already got it, you're really behind the curve, man. We've had that for a while. So wish you best, my friend. It's great to get a chance to finally talk to you and get to know you a little bit better, and hope you do well. Godspeed.